everyone again. Thank you for joining me today in this session on teaching knowledge test, core models. I'm Anna Kasheva and I'll be your guide throughout these 3 days because it's a 3-day event. So it's very good that there are so many of you here, yeah. So we have really many participants. Wow, over 200. That's amazing. That's really impressive. Okay. So please use the chat box. Yeah, please use the chat box if there is a question of some kind. Yeah, if you want to contribute to the discussion, if you want to share your ideas, and be as active as possible, as participant as possible. That's how basically you can benefit from the session. I'll refer to the question box at the end of the session. You can use that button and add your questions there as well. All right. Okay. So let me just say a couple of words. A couple of words about myself. Yeah. I'm a teacher trainer, and I've been a teacher for many years. Yeah, I've been teaching for over 20-something years. It's hard to count those years, you know. And although I don't have an intention of leaving the classroom anytime soon, yeah, because my main responsibilities and interests are around training teachers, yeah, I'm still giving some lessons. Yeah, I mostly focus on exam preparation, high-level students, well, teachers, to be honest, again, you know, those who want to upgrade their level of English proficiency or their teaching skills. Yeah, those of you who are interested in earning some English qualifications, yeah, certificates, diplomas, yeah, you can ask me questions about those. I'll be mentioning some of them today, and hopefully we'll be talking about different things related to professional development, not only the test, yeah, and assessment. Okay, so the aims of this session are the following, yeah. I'm going to give you some information about the core and specialist models, yeah, focusing mainly on TKT, of course, 3 models, but also highlighting some other teaching qualifications that are available from Cambridge Assessment Unit. We'll be talking about the format of the test, yeah, different task types, the requirements. I'll be giving you some tips how to prepare for that, yeah, what information you need to be aware of, how to find a training center, for example, or an exam center to register for the exam, yeah, and of course, I'll give you lots of tips and ideas on what to brush up on, right? Now, I want to know something about you. Could you please use the chat box? I can see that some people have already said hello and said where you're from. Yeah, could you just introduce yourself? Okay, I think I skipped that slide. No, I haven't. Okay, that's a bit strange. I can't see one of the slides. Okay, anyway, I wanted you to introduce yourselves and say what teaching context you're working with. Yeah, I can see that Alona is saying, for example, that she's got some experience, yeah, in teaching. Yeah, nice to meet you, all of you. Yeah, so do you work with younger learners or adults? Do you work for a state school or a private language school? Yeah, maybe for a university or something else. Yeah, so let me know something about you. Teenagers. Good. Yeah. Right, university. Oh, fantastic. That's really interesting. Okay, young learners, both. All right. Private schools, yeah. Courses, yeah. Different age groups, different areas. Okay, That's amazing. That's amazing. That's really good because, you know, we can refer to your experience and hopefully you'll be sharing some ideas throughout the session. Yeah, great, great, great. Okay, so yeah, that's just something to start with. Thank you very much for your contributions. Let's move on. I have already talked about the aims of the session. So let's consider why teachers cover well, different areas from TKT for their professional development, yeah, and why they take TKT, what might be the reasons. Yeah, private teachers as well, of course, might be interested in that. So, you know, obviously, TKT is developed by Cambridge Assessment English, yeah, which is a unit of the University of Cambridge, a department, yeah, a leading body responsible for designing and delivering different exams, tests, and qualifications for both learners and teachers. The range of qualifications is huge, yeah, it's wide. And of course, it is impressive that they've been running different tests since the beginning of the previous century, 1913, I think. And of course, they're famous for the quality of the services they are providing. So many people take different tests throughout the year, right? So worldwide, organizations, different educational establishments accept certificates and accept people who have certificates who can demonstrate deep understanding of the principles of teaching. Those who know how languages are learned, yeah, they have some benefits over other candidates and they can get a job easily. As you can see, the slide shows some statistics, yeah, like over 5 million people, for example, in 130 countries take different types of Cambridge exams every year. And as I have already mentioned, yeah, the range is impressive. So why teachers might be interested in taking tests themselves? Yeah, because it can lead to better results in their teaching. It can help the learners, of course, yeah, and themselves. And those of you who are interested, who are keen on professional development, of course, you're considering TKT. So can I ask you to type a plus if you're considering taking TKT, one of the modules? Do we have anyone who is interested? Great, great. Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, obviously, it's not only about taking the test itself, right? Just to confirm that, yes, I do know everything. It's about preparing for that and enjoying the learning process. I think that's why many teachers like taking courses, yeah, with different training centers, or they come together, yeah, and study in a group of like-minded people. Now, obviously, the certificates are accepted and recognized by different schools, well, employers, as the slide suggests, saying, yeah, and so on. So this is a well-recommended qualification. Now, let's have a look at the Cambridge English Teaching Framework. This can help you identify where you are in your professional development, yeah, how good you are at different aspects related to teaching, and perhaps what your strengths are and what areas you need to work on, right? Okay, Maria, yeah, you are saying that you have already taken TKT. Yeah, okay, and it's a kind of refresher for you. Yeah, it's good that Cambridge English Unit decided to run a series of webinars on TKT, yeah, different models. It's quite a nice program this week, yeah. Okay, so As you can see here, there are 5 areas. Yeah, you can see them on the right here. Yeah, learning and the learner. I can't see the slide properly. Yeah. Teaching, yeah, then language ability, language awareness, and professional development and values. So let me just clarify how you can use this grid to assess your ability. So let's take for example, the first area, learning and the learner. This covers quite important aspects of our job, to be honest. For example, at the foundation stage, you can see different stages highlighted here. Yeah? At the foundation stage, teachers have started, or a teacher has started to develop a basic understanding of language learning concepts. They are aware of some of their learners' needs, characteristics, yeah, related to first and second language acquisition. So that can help them in their work. And of course, that will affect other areas, yeah, in a good way. As teachers work on their skills, they can become better aware of their learners' needs, and they can use their knowledge better to meet those, yeah, to cater for different learning styles, for example, yeah, motivation, and so on. Now, if we look at experts at this level, teachers demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of the theories that reflect how languages are learned and what learners are like, and they can give greater support to their learners. Of course, there is an overlap in between the areas, as you can see. If you understand your learners' needs well, yeah, that will affect your teaching greatly. Yeah. And of course, you can deliver more detailed lessons depending on your degree of understanding of the principles. Having said that, of course, there are certain areas like language ability and language awareness that are different from those that I've mentioned. Yeah, and it's about giving your learners a good model, an accurate model during your lessons. Yeah, designing materials without slips and typos, things like that. And also, if we are talking about language awareness, it's your understanding of how to describe their language, yeah, and how to clarify different aspects. So with a wider range of techniques, of course, you can use many, yeah, but without understanding, perhaps it'll be hard to convey meaning and teach learners effectively, right? So as for professional development, many teachers think that professional development is only about taking courses. Yeah, like let's take a TKT preparation course. Yeah, I'm developing. Now I've done that. Yeah, what's next? Yeah, let's take another course. Yeah, of course, that can help you develop for sure. But at the same time, you can also consider different activities that don't require joining groups or paying a lot of money for something. Yeah, let me just clarify some of the things. One of the aspects is your ongoing reflection. Yeah, your self-evaluation of your lessons and being critical about the achievements of your students and the success of your lessons. That's how you can feel the need to improve, yeah, change some techniques, maybe resources, and do research in the area of your interest. You can actually find a detailed description of all the areas on Cambridge website, and I would really recommend you do that so that you can really see the whole picture and understand all the criteria there, finding the right path for you, for your professional development. Now, when we talk about qualifications, English teaching qualifications and Cambridge Awards in particular, of course, I'd like to mention a couple of other awards that you can achieve, if you take CELTA or Delta courses. There are many other well-recommended courses, but those are the most popular qualifications among teachers all over the globe. So let's take CELTA, for example. It was designed as an initial qualification for those who wanted to start teaching, or for those who had some theoretical knowledge, but they wanted to get some hands-on experience as well, and become more confident. You can actually see the link now in the chat box to the website where you can find more information about all qualifications. Because it has become very popular, now probably this growing interest helped CELTA become the most popular qualification, I would say. It is no longer considered as only an initial qualification. Some experienced teachers come and take the course to demonstrate that they can teach well. So because there is a teaching component there. It's the same for Delta. Delta is a modular course. It can be taken separately as well as TKT. Has 3 modules. In Delta there are 3 modules, and module 2 has a practical component, teaching, and module 1 is just a test. So you may compare it to TKT when you're ready, but the difference is huge. It's just in TKT you don't have to demonstrate your knowledge. You basically tick the right boxes, you choose the right answers. It's easier to take it. It's well recommended to start with TKT, and then when you're ready and you are really confident, when you are moving from proficient to expert levels, probably you will be ready for this experience. And in Delta Model 1, you have to produce your own responses, short responses and longer responses depending on the task type. In TKT, you don't write anything, you just shade in the lozenges. I'll show you the answer shade in a moment. Okay, yes, I agree, Jana. Sorry, who said that? Okay, it's just I need to scroll. Antonina. So Jana is asking about an opportunity to work abroad. Well, to be honest, different schools, recognize all of the qualifications, of course. But for some schools, for example, I remember a colleague of mine worked in China, and she told me that TKT was sufficient to get that job, right? For some schools, like International House, they usually accept those who have CELTA, this qualification. And if you want to become responsible for teachers, if you are developing yourself in educational management, then probably you can consider Delta, at a certain stage, to become better aware of different principles and to demonstrate that to your colleagues, to your peers and employers as well. Right, so let's focus on TKT. So, as I have already mentioned, TKT is just a test. It will assess your understanding of the teaching principles. So from now on, I'll be talking only about TKT, but if you have a question about something else, okay, Aliona. You don't have to have a teaching degree, because Delta itself is at master's level. It is a kind of university degree already, and many universities actually accept Delta as part of master's program. So you can do Delta and apply for masters abroad, and it'll be counted. Thank you for the question. Okay. And so perhaps even TKT is not necessary if you want to apply and get a job as a teacher. You're right. But many schools still require that. Okay. As for TEFL and TESOL, yeah, there are many, many different certificates, but you know what? It's just an abbreviation and the courses are many. So if you want me to give my opinion on a particular course, yeah, I need more information, what course you're talking about, yeah? If it's like Trinity Diploma, it's similar to CELTA. If it is, and Delta, yeah? If it is, I don't know, American qualifications, again, there are many, many schools that run different types of courses, yeah, and the quality is different. So I can't guarantee the quality will be the same there, okay? Yeah, exactly, all the range. Thank you, Firuz, yeah. Okay, so, many educational establishments, as I have already mentioned, recognize this qualification and they encourage their teachers to take TKT, to prepare for TKT, and they quite often they even organize in-house trainings for their teachers, because that's how they can demonstrate to their customers and clients, consumers if you want, good quality of the services. So you can see some of their opinions about TKT, yeah, from different people. Here you can see what some directors of studies say, and directors of school. And here you can see opinions of teachers. So teachers also see some benefits of preparing for TKT, of course, and taking TKT, yeah? Not only because it is a widely recognized teaching qualification, but because they can enhance their teaching skills, understand better some of the principles, yeah? If you take a preparation course, of course, yeah? If it is something conscious. Right. Yeah, so I have already mentioned some of the benefits. Let's go over some of the benefits for the educational bodies. Yeah. First of all, we want to ensure the quality, yeah, of the learning process. For our students, it's very important. And of course, if you show them the certificate, yeah, they'll be trusting you. Well, hopefully they trust you at the moment, yeah, but you can improve that, yeah. For new students, perhaps it is important. It is affordable, yeah, and manageable, because you can take one model at a time and split that into a period of time. So if I were you, if I had to take all the models, I would probably register for one of the models only, yeah, starting with the core models. And of course, the order is logical, yeah, and well recommended. So if you start with model 1 and go in that order to model 2, sorry, and 3, and then focusing on specialist areas, that will be the most beneficial path, because the first module is about theories related to teaching and learning, and that knowledge will help you take other tests, other models, yeah, and pass them with flying colors. Yeah, and I would probably recommend taking a couple of weeks gap in between modules if you take them separately. That's how you can reflect on your experience, maybe brush up on some of the areas that you found difficult in the first module, yeah, and then continue working on the areas related to the second module, and so on. That's kind of, that seems sensible. Another thing you can do, you can actually arrange a group, yeah, with your colleagues, peers, like-minded people, and that's how you can share your experience with your group mates and benefit from that preparation, yeah, enjoying that. I don't think you can take TKT online, yeah. It's a paper-based exam, so you will have to register and come to the exam center to sit basically the exam. Yeah, so the marketing benefits are out of question, of course, yeah, and of course it might be just a requirement from your educational establishment. So that's why some people take these tests. Now, who do you think TKT is good for? For example, is it good for you? Yeah. If you are, for example, a subject teacher and you want to move, to teaching English, you want to start teaching English, you can consider taking TKT to demonstrate that you can do that, but also to read quite a lot about what teaching English is involved, what is involved in teaching English. Yeah. If you are an experienced teacher, and some of you have mentioned that already, I could see that in the chat box, that you want to brush up on your skills, kind of refresher course for you. Yeah, that might work well. If you work with young learners, TKT core modules gives you the background knowledge. So it is relevant for all age groups, for all levels that you work with. It'll be helpful anyway. So if you work with higher level students, adult learners, still, there are lots of key information. The key concepts are highlighted, discussed, and you are assessed on the knowledge of that. And basically there are no formal requirements. You don't have to take an entry test of some kind. You just register and decide which date to choose, and then you come and take the test, right? If you work with young learners from 3 to 6, then you will be aware of the key principles of how languages are learned, what the difference between acquisition, for example, and learning, and how you can help your younger learners, very young learners, to be honest, this group we usually call very young learners, how to help them. So it's basically for everyone, okay? Those of you who are saying that there are different qualifications on how to teach young learners, yes, there are many. Well, first of all, if we mention TKT specialist models on teaching young learners, that's the first thing that you can consider. Secondly, there are different courses by International House, so we run courses like teaching English to young learners, and you can earn an international certificate. There are also other types of qualifications you can find. There is no longer CELT, I'm afraid, for younger learners, but the course I'm mentioning, IH certificate in teaching young learners, is moderated by Cambridge, by the University of Cambridge. So you can consider it if you are interested in getting only Cambridge qualifications. Anyway, whatever the model you decide to choose, to take, there will be 5 models all in all. In the past, there used to be a TKT practical, which belonged to the core models, and there were some other specialist models, but now they are not available, so there are only 2. But anyway, any model will be about answering 80 questions. You can earn 1 point for each of them, and it will last for about 80 minutes, right? 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I have already mentioned that you can choose the model that you are interested in, but the order might be logical from the core models to specialism models. Okay, right now. So what can you demonstrate to your employers, for example, if you take TKT and if you pass it and you get that certificate? That you know a variety of teaching methodologies. You know a wide range of teaching techniques, different types of practice activities. You know how to plan your lessons, keeping in mind your learners' needs. And you can choose classroom management activities, techniques, tools, again, appropriate for different stages of the lesson, different lesson frameworks. and of course, different age groups. You will also demonstrate that you are aware of different resources, teaching materials, yeah, and you can use them effectively. So those are the most important components, perhaps, yeah, that TKT will help you demonstrate. So here you can see the description of all the modules that you can take. Yeah, as you can see, they're all paper-based. Yeah, we had a question about that. All of them are of the same length and value. Yeah, so you can get 80 points for 80 correctly answered questions for each module. For each module, you can earn a certificate. Olga, I don't know if it is a question, but CELTA is not an abbreviation. Yeah, we used to consider CELTA as teaching English language to adult learners. It's no longer true. Yeah, CELTA is not an acronym any longer. CELTA is a teaching qualification for speakers of other languages. Okay, so you'll be able to teach any students, yeah, of different age groups and levels. So it's a general qualification. Right, okay, so you can see 3 models highlighted here, and I'm also showing a couple of important pieces of paper, let's say. So the first one is the question booklet that you'll be given on a test day, along with the answer sheet. Yeah, when you are answering the questions, you will have to, you can take notes, of course, using the question booklet, but you will have to transfer the answers to the answer sheet. As you can see, we don't have many spaces given here because all of the answers are just very brief identification of the correct answer, if it is A, B, or C, something like this. Yeah? So you'll be shading in the lozenges here, the boxes. This is important to know, yeah, and it's not scary at all. And sometimes you can just guess the answers and use common sense there, yeah. Okay, Gulnara is asking about, yeah, TKT, yeah, just in a moment, because, you know, some people don't know much about TKT in general. That's why I start with that, yeah. Thank you, Gulnara, for your question. Now, here we go, yeah. What do you need to do when you know that you want to take TKT? Well, first of all, you find out as much as possible about the test, right? How can you do that? You go to Cambridge website, which we have already shared the link to, yeah, and you can read about TKT and that particular model you want to take. Secondly, you choose the exam center. Yeah, the exam centers are many, yeah, and some of the exam centers are well recognized. Yeah, so here is the link again for you, and yeah, you can register for the date that is the most the best, yeah, the most suitable for you. Then you can find some online resources that are free, and that's well recommended, of course. So first of all, you need the handbook for teachers. So if we are talking about the core models, yeah, and the first model is there. So it says TKT models 1 to 3, right? So the handbook is the first source of information. You can read about the test, yeah, all the requirements, all the parts, the areas that you are going to be assessed on. Then you need a glossary. This is a very, very concise way of brushing up on terms, yeah. So all the terminology that you need to be aware of is there. I think they were like 400 words or something. So in the past, there used to be an alphabetic glossary and a glossary in different areas, yeah, on topics. But as far as I know, at the moment, only alphabetic glossary is available, but it's very easy to use, right? So perhaps this is the best way. You can also find some sample papers, and whatever booklet you find, yeah, the handbook, the glossary, or sample papers, you will find all three models together, right? So if you want to prepare for model 1, still you will have to download all of them. Okay, that's why I'm giving you an overview. Right, and then of course you can consider some other useful resources, materials, useful reference books, and so on. I'm going to recommend a few. Well, first of all, there is the TKT course book, yeah, TKT 3 models. It's a very good source, especially to start with. So you open a chapter, you look through the information given, you highlight the terms. Yeah, if you find a peculiar term, perhaps you can clarify it using a glossary. Yeah, and yeah, so that's how you work on that. Yeah, and then of course there are some tasks, some sample tasks, which raises your awareness of what TKT is like and the level of challenge in general, right? If you want more information, because some of the chapters are so concise that they just list the terms, they don't even define them. Yeah? Perhaps you need more examples and more practical information. Then you can use this source, yeah? Essential Teacher Knowledge, written by Jeremy Harmer. And as it says itself in the name, it's self-explanatory, it's essential teacher knowledge, right? And you'll be given a lot more examples there. What is more, there is a DVD that you can watch, which means you'll be exposed to a variety of lessons of experienced teachers, yeah, and there will be some information about the lessons, so you can nick ideas from those, yeah. This is a great source. Those of you who are aiming at preparing for CELTA or want just to read more and get more examples, perhaps, yeah, you can actually, yeah, look at Jim Scribner's book, Learning Teaching, yeah. Again, both of the books cover all of the aspects you need to be aware of for TKT, yeah, and even give you a wider, broader spectrum of ideas, concepts, practical examples, right? If that's not enough, yeah, then you can refer to some other sources, yeah, and I'm listing them, and because you'll be given a chance to download the presentation, perhaps you can find some of the other books really useful for you, depending on your teaching context, and depending on the resources available in your school or somewhere in a shop which is nearby. Galina is asking if you need to use all of the books. Well, to be honest, no, there is no such a requirement. You can just use their online resources, which are free. Yeah, and if you feel confident, if you think you're good at taking all the tests, the task types look familiar, you understand them, and you can do them relatively fast, then perhaps, yeah, you don't need another book. Those of you who are doing it for professional development perhaps want to do deeper research, and then probably you'll be referring to some of them books. Thank you for the question. Is it possible to pass TKT without preparation? Of course it is. Yeah, it's just a test of your knowledge. So if you're already aware of all the key principles, techniques, and we'll test that. Yeah, you'll be tested in a few minutes. So yeah, so probably you can go ahead. Yeah, you don't need much time to prepare for that. Yeah. This webinar, yeah, is not about CELTA courses. So perhaps I can mention that you can take a part-time course or a full-time course, an intensive 1 month course. Yeah, at the moment, most of the centers run CELTA courses online. Yeah, if you want to know more about CELTA courses, yeah, you can ask me this question at the end of the webinar. And if we have plenty of time, I'll talk about CELTAs. Right, okay, so we can split the books that you can read as books on methodology and books on language. So if you want to develop your language awareness, yeah, perhaps you can read some books how to teach grammar, for example, or about language, which is a very interesting read, well recommended for those who are aiming at even Delta. Okay, that's enough of references, right? So let's talk about the models. So all of the models, remember, they're paper-based. All of them they consist of 80 questions, and it will take you 80 minutes. You can earn 1 mark, 1 point for each correctly answered question. Yeah, and the type of tasks are 2. Well, technically speaking, there are 3. Yeah, and let me just clarify what I mean. So the most important task types are multiple choice and matching. Yeah, and in the answer sheet, you'll be shading in A, B, or C, or D, or whatever the letters are of the answers only. In multiple choice, and sometimes in matching, but it mostly happens with multiple choice type of questions. Sometimes in the rubric you can see not, yeah, and if it happens, we call it odd one out. We call that question tricky, and as it is really challenging, and many candidates actually miss that not thing, and they answer the question without paying too much attention to that. So it's important to keep in mind that some of the questions will require you to identify the wrong answer, yeah, if there is not in the rubric. Yeah, okay. Okay, TKT is assessed with a 4-band scheme. Yeah, you will be awarded band 1 even if you have limited knowledge, yeah, of the areas assessed. So someone has asked me a question whether you need some preparation, whether you need to take a course or read some books. Well, obviously you can't fail TKT. You can take it and you'll be awarded a band. Yeah, it identifies your level, your awareness. So if your knowledge is basic, it'll be band 2. If you have deep understanding of the principles, it'll be either 3 or 4. Yeah, the more extensive your knowledge is, yeah, the higher the band will be. Yeah, there is only one correct answer for all of them, which makes it really reliable. Yeah. How many questions to pass the test? Yeah, you can't fail the test, I've just explained. But if you want to achieve band 4, perhaps you need to aim at 80% or even higher. Yeah, right. So, of course, TKT is a very flexible tool for assessing your teaching knowledge. Yeah, first of all, you don't need to take a course, you don't need to take any book to read any books, yeah, and spend a lot of time to prepare. But if you are thorough in your preparation and professional development, yeah, maybe we can recommend some kind of pre-testing, yeah, doing a sample test before you want to do that, yeah, before the real experience. Then develop and brush up on the terms, consider your skills, and yeah, different examples that are mentioned in the sample paper, comparing that to your teaching experience, whether it makes sense, yeah. And those of the areas that you find appealing, perhaps you can implement, yeah, embed into your teaching practice. Then you need to consider different task types to be really quick at identifying the task type, and it'll facilitate test taking and doing samples test, yeah, that I've already mentioned, and then reflecting on that and so on and so forth. So that's basically what it involves. So what knowledge do teachers need? Yeah, we are coming towards Delta Model 1, oh sorry, TKT Model 1, yeah, and we are considering what makes a good teacher, basically. So, could you help me, please? Which of their characteristics, yeah, which of the qualities we need to demonstrate, what knowledge do we need to teach efficiently and effectively, okay? Could you type in your ideas in the chat box? Let's interact a little bit. Being flexible, Denise, yeah, I can't agree more. I totally agree, yeah. Being aware of the terms, yeah. Yes, methodology, definitely. Yeah, great. Being accurate, okay, yeah. It's not really important for TKT to be accurate, yeah. Your language won't be assessed there. But yeah, it's always good. Lesson planning I've seen, yeah. Soft skills, classroom management, yeah. Psychology, okay, yeah. Literacy, principles of teaching for sure. Facilitator, okay. Thank you for mentioning some teacher roles. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, different techniques. Yeah, lesson planning. Promoting, Artyom, I think you mean promoting learner autonomy, something like that, yeah. Catering for different learning styles, great. Fantastic ideas, wow. You are amazing. Thank you for your contributions. Okay, yeah, technology is a kind of thing that is really important at the moment. Yeah, we need to be tech savvy to run lessons online. That's true. Motivation, very good. Yeah, okay. So you've mentioned quite a few aspects from TKT models. Now, classroom management is not part of model 1. Lesson planning is neither. Yeah, but some of the areas that you've mentioned, yeah, are highlighted in the first model. Yeah, here you can see a description of what TKT is like. Yeah, all of the models. Yeah. It is not only theory, but practice. And you've mentioned some of the things like classroom management techniques, but also selecting right activities and giving appropriate feedback. Thinking on your feet, this ability is, I would say, is the most beneficial. Yeah, if you can rely on that, probably your lessons are always effective. Students' involvement, yes. So how can we motivate our learners? Yeah, probably we need a variety of techniques, a variety of activities. Yeah, we need to be aware of their aims. Yeah, and also we can clarify the aims of the lesson or stage aims for some of our learners who are interested in that. Yeah, adult learners might be. Yeah, and so on. And you can see some other areas that are really important. Okay, but obviously this session is about Model 1, so it's time to focus on that. Yeah? There is an overlap in between models. That's why it was important to highlight many different aspects. And there is an overlap with some specialist areas too, due to the format of tasks, for example. So TKT Model 1, yeah, 80 minutes, 80 questions. The type of tasks, yeah, I have already highlighted: magic, multiple choice, and odd one out, yeah, which might be embedded into multiple choice, for example. And the areas that you'll be assessed on are about key terminology related to learning and teaching. Knowledge of those will help you run better lessons, yeah, with showing deeper understanding of your learners' needs and their abilities and how to meet those. Teacher's aid, different tools you can use. For example, a whiteboard is one of the aids you can use. Visuals, yeah, different posters, flashcards, yeah. Teaching materials if you want, yeah. Yeah, instructional design, yes, Leila, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so those are the key areas covered in Model 1. Let's focus on one by one. And the first one, described language and language skills. Now, what types of lessons we can differentiate? Yeah, we can subdivide all lessons into two huge areas. What are they? Who can help me? Use the chat box, please. Okay. Do you need a prompt? So we can run lessons on skills, yeah, developing skills, and language, yeah, systems. Exactly. So here, yeah, some basic concepts related to grammar, vocabulary, yeah, how to convey meaning, yeah, what helps us build new words, yeah, like affixation, for example, will be covered. In the second area, background to language learning, we are discussing different, well, I'm saying discussing because I usually run TKT courses here for our teachers, but yeah, so what you have to consider is how languages might be learned. Well, how the first language is acquired, yeah, by children, and how that knowledge might help us run our lessons. Yeah? Yes, the first language and the second language learning, yeah, and comparing that with acquisition as a kind of effortless process of absorbing information, yeah, picking up some expressions, yeah, if your teacher is using some sophisticated language, yeah, gradually by just exposing to different things like that, yeah, you can understand them better and probably even start using something like that. That's why a natural model is very important. And then the third area is background to language teaching, which refers to different principles, teaching principles, approaches, presentation techniques, yeah, how to select different techniques, activities, yeah, how to assess learners and give feedback. Yeah. So quite interesting areas. And this model looks really serious, yeah, theory-like, and very important. And that's why we start by looking at this model, of course. So we can subdivide all lessons into skills and systems. So let's focus on the skills, yeah, language skills. Could you please type in the chat box the skills that you know? Okay, any language skills that you know. Reading, well done. Listening, yes, thank you. Okay, communicative competence perhaps, yeah, is something that we can build up, yeah, by focusing on different skills, yeah, including those. Reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Right, now reading and listening obviously have something in common. What do we call them? Yes, they are both receptive skills. Absolutely right. Okay. And speaking and writing, of course, will be productive skills. I don't know if you find developing productive skills more challenging or not. Yeah, it might differ actually. But I think both of them are very important, right? And all of them contribute to an overall competence. Now let's talk about systems. Yeah, so I have already prompted you using some terms. Grammar, well done, Daria. Is there anything else? Lexis, great. Functions, very good, Oksana. Pronunciation is covered in TKT, yeah, very good. Yeah, okay. If we talk about accuracy and syntax, of course, yeah, in some of the components of the course and the test, yeah, you might be assessed on your understanding of those, yeah, but they're not specified in the areas you need to focus on, right? Yeah. So grammar will be, well, probably syntax will be in the grammar category, yeah. Phonemes, again, about phonology. Well done, yeah. Yeah. Fluency, okay, yeah, I would say that fluency is really important for productive skills. Yeah, and also if you run a lesson on systems, for example, grammar or Lexis, yeah, or functional language, actually you can build your lesson from focusing on receptive skills, helping students understand the meaning of the target language, yeah, and then shifting towards controlled practice and then freer practice, and freer practice will be with the focus on fluency, of course, yeah. Right. So let's have a look at the areas, yeah, more specific areas actually that I've decided to highlight for you. For example, in the lessons on skills, sometimes you may want to focus on developing gist reading. Yeah, do you know the synonym for gist reading? Who can give me a synonym? Yeah, the terminology might be slightly different. Yeah. Skimming, very good. I'm not sure the spelling. Yes, skimming, yeah, I can see the accurate spelling in the chat box. Well done. Yes, and or reading for general understanding, also possible. Yeah, global understanding. Well done, perfect. So of course, those skills can be referred to both reading and listening. Yeah, they are both receptive skills, and we use similar terms there. We also use specific information of scanning, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned some other sub-skills related to receptive skills. Good. Now, features of spoken text and fluency are important for speaking, of course, yeah? Those are some of the areas, yeah? How about this? Layout, organizational features, authenticity, what area do they belong to? Who can help me? Yes, definitely. It is about writing. It is about working on maybe if you're using the product approach to writing, perhaps you focus on the layout, yeah. And for some genres, it'll be particularly important, yeah. Understanding how to structure the text, yeah. Well, quite often it is important, of course, yeah. Yeah. And if you are using, yeah, exactly who you are writing to, yeah, absolutely, great ideas. So if you are using the product approach, yeah, you are focusing on the example of that particular text so that students can refer to that and produce a text of the same kind. Another approach to that will be the process approach, which will be more appropriate, I'd say, for high-level students, for those who are creative, yeah, and you want to help them build up their ideas, first of all, and then they'll be producing something, proofreading that, yeah, prompted by you, of course, yeah, and improving their pieces. Okay, how about parts of speech and grammatical structures? So what's that area on? So different grammatical forms. Yeah, of course, yeah, grammar. Types of meaning and word formation, yeah, belongs to Lexis. Yeah, but there is an overlap, of course, because meaning is important for grammatical structures too. Yeah, and the name of different tenses, for example, or again, parts of speech, yeah, those terms are in TKT, so you need to be aware of those. The last area here, yeah, I'm giving you some examples what phonology might be about. Yes, good. So yeah, so you need to be able to understand the phonemic symbols, yeah, to read them, and to identify which is right, which is wrong, yeah. You need to know something about the features of connected speech, like linking, for example, and some intonation patterns, yeah. And yeah, so if it's matching, for example, you choose the right answer there. Yeah, which symbol, for example, we can use for this sound, yeah, or for this word, yeah, choose the script, something like that. I'll show you the question types. Now, if you look at Scott Thornberry's book, for example, like A to Z, yeah, an A to Z type of dictionary for teachers, there are so many definitions he's covering, yeah, related to grammar, and he highlights the differences between prescriptive and descriptive grammar and pedagogical grammar and so on and so forth. But to simplify, to put it simply, yeah, we can just rely on Penny Ear's definition. She mentioned that we often define grammar as the way words are put together to make correct sentences, right? And what we need to consider to make these sentences, yeah, correct, obviously. So, for example, word order, yeah, or which is the subject, yeah, and what form of the verb to use, yeah, and so on and so forth. Maybe which dependent prepositions to use, sentence structure, yeah, exactly. So syntax is involved there, collocations, absolutely right, yeah. Again, you can see there is an overlap in between Lexis and the grammar, so there is always something like that. In the grammar section, yeah, in the TKT handbook, you can see they are highlighting only two areas, parts of speech and the forms of grammatical structures. So let's have a look at the speech bubble here. Do you know all the terms? Gerund, reported speech, present perfect continuous, type and pluses if you do. Oh, great. Yes, okay. So perhaps you're well prepared for this test, right? You don't need much preparation. Let's have a look at these sentences. I'll give you a moment to read them all and to decide which is which. Yeah, which is an illustration of gerund, which is an illustration of present simple passive, and so on. And if you're ready, type in your answers in the chat box. Off you go. Past perfect has been identified. Well done. Number 4. Yeah, using a gerund after like and other verbs of this kind. Yeah, so it's about verb patterns. Number 2 is passive. You're absolutely right. Yeah, number 3 is the present perfect. Well done. Great. Okay. Thank you for being actively involved. You know, teachers, well, actually, and Russian students as well, we all like tests, right? Yeah. Okay, right. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm highlighting the correct answers, and I think I didn't see any problems there. Yeah, and even if your present simple is misspelled, it's not a problem for TKT because you won't be writing there. Yeah, you won't be spelling out things. Yeah, okay, awesome. So this is one of the aspects that grammar section is dealt with. Yeah, so you will have to identify different tenses, patterns, parts of speech, and things like that. And obviously, it'll be a kind of matching task or multiple choice task, yeah, which is the tense that we can use to talk about, future preferences or plans, intentions, something like this, yeah. And you will see 3 examples, and there will be one of them that is only appropriate, something like this. Okay, let's move from grammar to phonology. Now, this area is another interesting one. And again, if you are really into that, perhaps I can recommend the book by Roach on phonology. It's a very interesting, read. And also, it is quite interesting for experienced teachers as well, because the information presented there is some basic information, but there is also something interesting about phonology in general. Yeah, Brazil has certain books for teachers and students. So there is a practical component there, again, if you are interested in phonology. If you want to search for free sources of information on phonology, yeah, I would recommend using Andrew Underhill's website. You can find his phonemic chart, yeah, there, and also, okay, it slipped my mind the name of the person who runs a blog on phonology. Maybe someone knows. Okay, the author of Pronunciation Games. It slipped my mind completely. Yeah. I have already shared all the books that I want to recommend. Yeah, I'm just giving you some other ideas. Yeah, because it's limitless, right? It's an endless list. Yeah. Okay, so what I've mentioned is Roach. Yeah, one of the authors. Then Andrew Underhill. Yeah, those. Hancock. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, and Hancock. Yeah, he runs a blog with his wife. It's full of awesome resources on phonology, different types of charts, how to use phonetic symbols. Yeah, he shares his presentations from different conferences and so on and so forth. So it's just awesome. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Hancock and McDonald's, yeah. So, right, so what I've mentioned, phonemic alphabet, yeah. Are you aware of the phonemic symbols? Do you know how to use them? Do you use them in your teaching practice? Cool. Okay. You know, some books actually give you a nice grid, yeah, a nice chart, which is graded for students, yeah, for their level. For example, English file, yeah. So it's really helpful. And in English file, for example, they are also using pictures to make the whole thing memorable. And that's what some other experts do, yeah, when they share their phonemic charts. There is an example there, and sometimes there is a picture to help students remember that. Yeah, I agree, Rina. Yeah. Now, in this area on phonology, we need to understand different phonemes, yeah, or simply sounds, yeah. How many English sounds are there in English? Yeah, which of them you know, and so on. Yeah, speak out. Yeah, like there is also a focus on stresses, yeah, sentence stress and word stress. Yeah, 44. Well done, Yelena. Good job. Also intonation patterns, yeah, high pitches and so on. And yeah, that's a good dictionary. And features of connected speech. For example, when you say two words together in a fluent speech, yeah, some of the changes might occur, yeah, and you need to be aware of that. There might be some sounds that you will lose, yeah, and there will be some extra sounds like intruded. Yeah, 44 phonemes in English. Yeah, there is a schwa, the most frequently used sound. Yeah, absolutely right. Assimilation. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. I don't think you need to know about assimilation for TKT. That's a kind of advanced methodology. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing the sources. Yeah, great. Okay. So here is an example of a phonemic chart that you can use, and this is a photo from the classroom I used to work in. Yeah, why I like this phonemic chart in particular, because it helps learners understand how articulators work. Yeah, how to open your mouth or which parts of the mouth to use. Like let's say E. Yeah, we are using lips to produce this sound. And it is so-called front. Yeah, here is the term. I'm not using a pointer, of course. Yeah, front. And and high, yeah, E, yeah. Whereas to say something like more, yeah, you are using the backside of the mouth. Yeah, Macmillan Dictionary is a very good resource. It's not only a dictionary, it's a blog for teachers. And Andrew and Underhill used to post different videos there on how English is developing, giving tips for teachers and learners on pronunciation. So yeah, and Scott Thornberry ran a blog on vocabulary, I think, there. Yeah, thank you for sharing again. Now, I got distracted a little bit, but yeah, what I'm highlighting is how this chart is designed. This is a kind of mouth cavity, yeah? And you can see alveolar ridge somewhere, yeah, there or there, depending which part of the chart you take, yeah? The chart is subdivided into consonants and vowels, yeah? The vowels are further subdivided into monophthongs and diphthongs, right? You see that the symbols that we are using might be slightly different, yeah? We are using these symbols, and in TKT you'll see similar symbols, right? Yeah, so what else to say? So basically, it's good to have a chart, yeah, in the classroom. You can refer to that, and if your students are inaccurate in their pronunciation, you can refer to that. You can run different fun dictations, yeah, and different activities using the chart to clarify how things should be pronounced, yeah, and also to clarify how to articulate them, okay? Right. Let's have a look at the boxes. I prepared for you a list of words in each box, and they have something in common. Now, what can you say about each of the boxes? That's a challenge. That's not a TKT level type of task. Diphthongs, not sure. Oh yes, you are just asking about those, yeah. So the chart highlights the most common, the most frequently used sounds. That's why there are no diphthongs there. Yes, stress, well done, yes, okay, you are smart. So what we've got here is the first box contain only the words with the first syllable stressed, yeah? The second box has the words with the second syllable stressed, yeah? This is the third syllable, and here we've got the fourth syllable stressed. If you look at the boxes, yeah, can you see a pattern there? When do we stress the first syllable? When the stress falls onto the third or the fourth syllable? Do you know the rules of that? If not, perhaps it's time to brush up on that, because there are certain rules you can use. For example, before shin, the stress usually falls on the previous syllable before shin, yeah? And there are some other rules. But obviously for learners, for our learners, the most challenging aspects are about sentence stress shift. When in the same word family, for example, photography, yeah, the stress might be different, like photo, photograph, but photography, photographic, yeah, and so on. This is really challenging for them, yeah. Now, another aspect I've promised to highlight are different features of connected speech. Have a look at this. American English. Well, I'm afraid American English phonemic chart is not very reliable, because you're taking a TKT test, which is British. So you might be confused. Don't do that. But thank you, Gulnara, for sharing. Yeah. So have a look at this short extract from a dialogue. What features of connected speech you can see there? Use the chat box to share your ideas, what you can identify, what you can highlight. Probably, Louisa, you mean linking, yeah. Where do we have linking? Let's try to find it. Water, yeah, water. T, is connected to the following vowel sound yeah, water. Yeah, there is linking. Intonation, of course, is highlighted, and the sentence stress on want. Very good. Yes, Svetlana, you are using a very sophisticated term. Perhaps you have already read Peter's Roach book. Yeah, and it's not necessary for TKT. You won't see terms like that. Yeah, but sentence stress can be used. Yeah, water. Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah, I can see lots of things. You are saying going, but what's the feature? What is the feature you want to highlight? Yeah, I am. What is I am? Weak forms. Good. Okay, we have a couple of schwas here highlighted. The weak form of the preposition and the article. Yeah, very good. Then the contractions, thank you very much. Yeah, I am is a contracted form, and that's why it affects pronunciation, obviously. We can't say I am. It won't be good enough, yeah, if you are reading out this sentence, for example. Yeah, sentence stress, yeah. Unstressed words or weak words, yeah, very good. Yeah, informal form, yeah, so there is an overlap with register, for example, this concept. Very good, yeah. Yeah, so different features like that. And because, of course, what I'm saying you to do now schwa is spelled differently. If you want to focus on different features on pronunciation, just open the handbook or sample papers. Yeah, you will see some possible answers, and the task will be really manageable. What I'm doing now, I'm challenging you because you are all smart and well prepared already, and you're using terms like intrusion, assimilation, yeah, which are delta-like terms. Yeah, okay. So let's do a short test. We have 3 questions. Yeah, have a look at them, identify the answers, and type your ideas in the chat box. Okay. It's good that we are all on the same page. Okay, some different answers as well, I can see. So number 2, is it A or B? Yes, still people don't agree if it is A or B. Now, do we say butcher or butcher? A or B? No, we don't say butcher, seriously. No, we don't. Okay, I just exaggerated the pronunciation, of course, just to make it clear how, yeah, absurd it is. No. Okay, good job. So here are the correct answers. Yeah, if you don't trust me, because yeah, I'm a non-native speaker, obviously you don't have to trust me, but you can refer to dictionaries. My preference, I don't know which dictionaries you like. I like Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English. Yeah, great, well done. Okay, awesome. So it's good that you know what a minimal pair is. Yeah, and here, it's a very good example, actually. So a minimal pair is a pair of words which has one phoneme different. Yeah, one sound is different. Yeah, Natalia, good choice of dictionaries. Very good. I also like Macmillan. Yeah, that's another source, regularly updated. Yeah, with full of information for teachers. Yeah, and students as well. Like the irregular wheel is great for low-level students. Yeah, collocations, yeah, good examples, absolutely. Okay, right, so what we've got here, minimal pair. Okay, have a look at this task. Hopefully it won't be difficult. Type in the answers in the chat box when you're ready. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Yeah, I could see the question about the minimal pair. Someone didn't get the answer to the previous question. Yeah, so a minimal pair, let me repeat, is a pair of words which have similar sounds, but one sound is different. Yeah, let me give another example. Big bag. Yeah, so in one there is I, and in another one is a. Yeah, but b and g are the same. So this is another minimal pair. Content words are usually stressed, and some people say are always stressed. Okay. The thing is, there might be some exceptions, of course, yeah, when the idea is more important than the key message, you know, presented by content words, obviously, like if there is an emphatic construction or something else. So, and you know what, it's hard to say something is black and white, yeah, it's only the right way to say. So I prefer words like usually than always. But I know what you mean. Yeah, I agree that most of the times, of course, content words are stressed. Structural words are never stressed. That's a mistake. That can't be accepted as a good answer, because sometimes in emphatic constructions we stress them, right? You are right, yeah, or you do understand, for example, something like that. And A is wrong, because sometimes, yeah, the first syllable is stressed, but sometimes other syllables might be stressed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if the preposition is at the end of the sentence, then probably it'll be stressed. You're right. Very good. Okay. We are moving to the next area. Yeah, so there is a clear progression of areas, and we have already mentioned quite a lot of terms related to grammar, some of their phonology, phonological aspects, and now we are looking at lexical terms. Aren't they nice? There are so many terms there. Okay, I want you to type in the chat box a couple of words which are synonyms. Who can do that? Very good. Small, little, tiny. Oh, perfect. Yes. Thrilling, gripping. Great. Yeah. Okay, nice. Good. Yeah. Tired. Be careful with your typing. I know, you know, if it's online, yeah, I sometimes make slips myself. It's just, it's so fast. There is no time to read, to check if it is accurate. You want to post it as soon as possible. Huge, big, yet tedious. Great. Yeah, okay. Suffix, affix. Oh, interesting. Actually, affix is a wider term. Affix or affixation is about using both suffixes and prefixes. Yeah. So yeah, to a certain extent, it is a kind of umbrella term. Yeah. And we can refer to that. Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. Enough synonyms. Let's do something else. Yeah, you know, it's a very good task. Yeah, I sometimes dictate to my students a list of words. Yeah, they type in the synonyms, for example, and then they have to refer to the synonyms, yeah, that they have already typed or written. Yeah, and they have to recreate the list, the initial list, and that's a very good memory activity, helping expand their vocabulary range. We can do the same things with the opposite. So what's the opposite of, I don't know, big? I've just seen some words. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay, antonyms. That's easy. Okay. Could you give me an examples of homonyms? Okay, the words that are, so homophones, the words that are pronounced in the same way, yeah, but the spelling might be different, yeah. Yeah, oh, good, yeah, great ideas. Okay, okay, awesome, yeah. Homographs are those that are spelled in the same way, but pronunciation might be different, and homonyms are the spelling and the pronunciation is the same. For example, book, yeah, but it might mean a thing with several pages that you read, yeah, or book a hotel, book a room, yeah, yeah, to make a reservation. Absolutely right, yeah. So those are interesting. Okay, what is a false friend? Could you give me a good example of a false friend for Russian students? Accurate, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, magazine, yeah. Actual, true. Yeah. Yeah, great ideas. Yeah, okay, okay. Academic, do we spell it with double C? I'm not sure. Ambitious. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, I think so, actually. I think you're right. Oh, concrete. Yes, for sure, yeah. Instead of saying specific, they often use this word. Yeah, great. Okay, okay. So do we have any terms that you're not aware of? Have a look at the slides. Do I need to clarify any of the terms, or you're good? Type in pluses if you know most of them or all of them. Base word. Okay, the base word is the word from the same word family that will help you produce other words. For example, use, yeah, and you can use a suffix or prefix, and you can build a whole family. Useful, misuse, underuse, overuse, I don't know, user, and so on. Yeah, yeah. Register, it's a level of formality, yeah, whether the term is formal or informal. Like most phrasal verbs are informal, yeah, and if you write in an academic style, perhaps you're avoiding using phrasal verbs, contracted forms, to be more formal. So this is the register. Yeah, okay, awesome, great examples. Thank you for your support. Yeah, okay, great. Let's move on. Here is a sample test. Yeah, it's really short. Have a look. What type of task it is? Who can tell me the task type? Yes, it is matching. Absolutely right. Okay, so you have a moment to read them all and to match them. And when you're ready, share the answers with me. Great. Okay. Yes, 2D, absolutely right. They are synonyms. Very good. Yeah, most of you are accurate here. Yeah, 3E, absolutely. It's about a fixation. Yeah, compounds are identified. Well done. Okay, so now I can see that some of you know all of the answers. I'm revealing the answers. Have a look, compare with your ideas. And if we have any questions, yeah, I'll be happy to clarify some of the things. But those are quite typical examples that might be highlighted for you, and you'll be assessed on understanding of these. Color is not misspelled, it's just, oh yes, you're right, of course. Yeah, I just typed it, probably because my computer corrects me. There is this kind of automatic function yeah, to use British spelling. Yeah, you're right. It should be without you, one of them. Yeah, good job. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lexical set is a group of words on the same topic. Yeah? So here we have ankle, stomach, knee, heart, like parts of the body, something like that. Yeah, good. Okay, awesome. Okay, you know what? Doing some sample tests can help you become aware of some of the terms. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you. If you like it, I'm really grateful for a good word. Okay, have a look. One more activity. Yeah. Be careful. We have not in the rubric. What type of task is that? Very good, Alexander. Absolutely right. It is an odd one out. So which one is not correct, right? Which one is not an adjective? Okay. So which one? Think about that. Okay. Well, we have different answers. Oh, interesting. Okay. So if you say, I am sure, we use the verb to be plus what? I think it is an adjective, isn't it? Yeah. In a predicate, it's part of the predicate. It is a difficult question. So here, difficult, yeah, defines the noun. So again, it's an adjective, but I've done it right. We are describing the action, how you did that, yeah. And right is not an adjective; it's an adverb. Sometimes the form is misleading. Yeah, they look similar, but they might be both adjectives and adverbs, and you need to identify the function of verbs. Okay, are we ready to move on? One more example? Okay, so if we focus on functions, yeah, this is a great area, and I think many teachers still neglect this area, yeah, and they focus on different grammatical structures and separate single words, you know, single word items, but they don't help their students become fluent because they don't teach chunks. And functions is about teaching chunks, yeah? Different expressions used on purpose, yeah? So for example, if you say, could you tell me, yeah? You are asking for information. This is a function, and could you tell me is an exponent of that function. Now, when you teach functional language, you probably help your students to understand these expressions, these useful expressions, by exposing them to the context. You need to set the context clearly, give a good example, maybe play a recording, yeah, or something like that to help them understand why they need this part of language, this chunk. Yeah, and then of course the register or levels of formality might be also highlighted, whether it is only spoken discourse, yeah, or it's better to use in written text in an academic style or something like that. Yeah, and that will affect appropriacy, of course, yeah, which you will have to identify in some of the tests. You will see that in some samples, like which one is more natural or something. So your background knowledge to the overall situation, yeah, the level of formality, who is talking and who is the interlocutor and so on, yeah, is very important. So you need to be aware of different functions and exponents, how to express this or that idea. So for example, let's practice a little bit. I have 4 boxes: expressing certainty, apologizing, expressing a dislike, and speculating. So if I say something like, oh, what a shame. So what do you think I'm trying to express? What is the function? It might be a dislike, yeah. It might be apologizing, absolutely. That's what I meant. Good, yes, yes. We don't know, yeah, we need a wider context, of course, to understand that situation. Okay, let's focus on the first box. Expressing certainty. How can you do that? Who can type in some ideas, an exponent for that? Which phrases we can use? I'm sure, definitely. That must be very good. Models of deduction. Yeah. Or you are definitely right. Yeah, something like this. Exactly. Okay, great ideas. Now let's talk about speculating. You have already mentioned the models of deduction, yeah, and must. Maybe something else. Very good. Wonder. I guess. I reckon. Yeah. It might be. Yeah, good. I like might. I think I overuse might in my speech just because, you know, I want to soften my utterances all the time. Great, I suppose. Perfect. Great. Okay, so I'm showing you some of my examples. Yeah, they're basic. And obviously there are many different exponents that can perform the same function. At the same time, different exponents, different functions can be used about the same exponents. Yeah, for example, sorry. Yeah, how can we use sorry? Because you want to apologize. What other functions this word can convey? Sorry. Yeah, attract someone's attention. Sorry. Yeah, good. Very good. Dislike. Sorry. I'm not sure, but probably with appropriate intonation. To interrupt someone. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So here is another matching activity for you. You have only 3 options to choose from, A, B, and C, and there are 5 situations. Their focus is on the underlined parts of the sentence. Okay, do this matching task and share your ideas. We have some letters that I don't see here. Yeah, on the slide. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, for teachers, yeah, it's important to understand different functions of different linkers. Yeah, and for students, perhaps they need to be aware at a certain stage that since, for example, yeah, is not only a device that can help us express different periods of time, yeah, and time-related things, but also give reasons. Very good. Yeah. So here are the answers. You can see them. You can see them here on the left. Compare them with your ideas. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. You keep sharing. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. We are on the same wavelength, right? Well done. Okay, now another area that I haven't mentioned yet much are skills. Yeah? And in this section, you focus on the sub-skills mainly, yeah, that we want to develop to help our students become better at either receptive or productive skills. Oh, thank you, Alona. Yeah, so word family is the words produced by using different suffixes and prefixes. Yeah, and the lexical set is about the topic. You're absolutely right. Well done. Okay, have a look at the language skills, well, sub-skills that I'm highlighting here on the slide. In this word cloud, there are some of the sub-skills that we can identify for reading. Which of them are about reading? Let's specify. Skimming, absolutely right. Yes, scanning, very good. Yeah, we have already mentioned those. Intensive reading. predicting. Yeah, paraphrasing is more about speaking, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's not a reading skill. Proofreading is not about reading. Seriously, it's about writing. It's about well, of course there is an element of reading there. Yeah, but if you want to proofread, perhaps you'll be editing that piece of text. Yeah, global understanding. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now, when you infer attitude, yeah, does it take longer than reading for gist? Type in pluses if you think so. Does it require deeper understanding of the text? Okay, Grigori, yeah, okay, it's good. Perhaps you can rely on your instincts, but usually people, yeah, find it difficult, yeah, and if we are talking about the written text, yeah, that you read and you try to understand what is behind that, yeah, what is in between lines, if you want, and it may take longer, of course, yeah, it's likely to take longer. And that's why when we structure our lessons, yeah, I'm overlapping now with other models. In lesson planning, we need to consider how to structure a lesson on reading skills. So we usually start with something basic, reading for gist. And we set the time limit to help students develop that skill, yeah? And after this basic understanding of the topic of the text, they can read the text again, yeah? Perhaps inferring meaning or answering some comprehension questions that will require scanning or something else, yeah? Yeah, they don't, Svetlana, yeah. It is not easy sometimes, perhaps that's why. Okay. Here is a sample test. My God. So have a look. There are 4 questions. They are all what kind of tasks? What do we call this task type? So many tests. Yeah, that's what you do in TKT. Yes, it's multiple choice, absolutely right. Why I'm showing you different task types, yeah, to raise your awareness, to help you see whether you're ready for taking TKT right away or you need some course of preparation, okay, that's why. Yes, thank you for sharing the answers, well done. That's great, that's amazing. Great. Okay, I can see that some of you have already identified not in question number 3, yeah, and you can focus on the right answer, which is an odd one out. Very good. Okay, so well done. You're fast enough, yeah. Have a look, confirm your ideas, your answers. Hopefully all of them were right. Okay. Yeah, so this is about understanding of different sub-skills, yeah, both receptive and productive. Okay, what's this about? Is it about skills or systems? Have a look at the question. And if it is about a skill, which one? Okay, if it is about systems, which area? It might be about writing, yeah? It might be. But I try to work it out. I think it's more about reading, yeah? So the student is saying something like, I'm reading the text and I sometimes get stuck with a word, yeah, I don't know, it looks unfamiliar, yeah, and it distracts me. So I try to figure out what it means by looking at what is around the words, yeah, and that can help me move on with reading, yeah. Yeah, this is reading. Very good, yeah. Okay, can be listening, yeah. But with listening, it's quite hard to go back, you know, to analyze what happened earlier. For reading, it's something straightforward. Okay, so another area that TKT Module 1 covers is motivation, exposure to language, which I have already mentioned at a certain stage, the error correction, the role of error, how to identify errors, which ones to correct, and so on. Yet keeping in mind learners' needs and their characteristics. Choosing different presentation techniques, practice activities, and of course, there is a huge area of assessment, with the focus of the assessment, the task types, and how we can act upon that. These are all related to the theories of language learning and teaching. So first of all, we need to identify the differences between L1 and L2 learning. So could I ask you to use the chat box? How about typing in some ideas? What is there in, I don't know, L2 learning that we can't find in L1, or vice versa? Okay, which, age, very good. Very good. First language, native language, and second language, which is a foreign language. Yes, we acquire L1 naturally, absolutely right. Yes, perfect. That's right. So we can highlight the importance of acquisition, natural acquisition to teachers, so that they expose their learners to a variety of texts. They use natural and accurate models themselves to help learners pick up language items effortlessly. Social acceptance, good. So there is also something cultural that might be involved. Unconscious, very good. Very good, very good. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So when you start learning your first language, you're not mature enough, and you really feel the need to acquire that, to understand how to ask for something, how to get information, and so on. And that affects motivation greatly. Also, there are different theories related to how age affects learning, and that younger learners might really absorb information easily, and they can acquire native-like pronunciation, for example. But we know that some of our students who join our classes later, when they are teenagers, for example, they become really successful due to perseverance, and if they're determined to achieve their goals, they're likely to be successful. However, their attitude to language learning is affected by some background knowledge, how to learn, they're using certain strategies, and that's what we need to help our learners with, building up a variety of strategies they can rely on, including learning strategies. We need to develop learner autonomy, if you want them to be successful. And also we keep in mind the context, and how your learners, what the expectations are, how they usually learn. And I can see in the chat box you're using quite a lot of very interesting comments there, and I'm not good at multitasking. I get distracted easily. But you've mentioned motivation, and yes, we can subdivide motivation into intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is something that is within us. We really like, for example, the language, the culture, or we like learning in general, studying, or we like being exposed to a variety of things related to English culture, things like that. That's why students keep coming to our lessons, right? And of course, we need to work on developing the intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, however, comes from an outsource. For example, parents tell children to learn a language, or I don't know if it's a job requirement, or people have to immigrate, or something else. There might be different reasons, of course, but usually the more motivated our students are, the better the results. Okay, Aliona, yeah, that's a great way of motivating them. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Have a look. Here is an extract from one of the sample papers. Have a look at this multiple choice type of task. Take your time and share with me what you think about the answers. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, great ideas. I can see some correct answers. Well, most of them are actually correct. It's just, yeah, perhaps you were misled if you're choosing something else. So what is reformulation? That is a kind of correction technique that teachers can use. It's taken from parents. Parents don't usually correct their children, yeah? They usually expose them to a natural model, like, you mean this, yeah, and they move on. They don't highlight that. They don't attract kids' attention to mistakes. They just reformulate, rephrase that, and move on. So the conversation continues, yeah. And that's what can teachers do if the focus is on fluency, for example. Yeah, I haven't seen any errors in number 2. I'm not going to clarify that. And we all agree that 3 is C. Okay, perfect. Right. So in terms of teaching, of course, you might be most interested in different teaching principles and techniques. How to present new language, for example, yeah? Yes, number 3 was C, yeah. Don't worry, you'll get the presentation, yeah. Why? Oh my God, let's have a look. Learners, silent period. The silent period phenomenon has been highlighted long ago. And, you know, young children, yeah, they are not forced to start speaking. First, they are exposed to the language that their parents are using, maybe other family members and so on. And they're not producing anything. And definitely they're not producing complex grammatical structures right away. So B is not the option. Yeah, but they're becoming familiar with their language patterns. Yeah, and eventually they start talking. So that's it. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, what is the most interesting area perhaps for teachers is different techniques and presentation techniques. Now, if you follow, for example, some books, sometimes you can see that the presentation comes based on a text. Yeah, so the students read the text or listen to a dialogue or something else. Yeah, and there are certain activities highlighting that language point. Clarifying meaning, pronunciation, and form, and so on. So it's likely to be PPP approach, yeah, text-based or situational presentation there. However, in some course books, and now we have many examples, yeah, sometimes the students are tested on what they know. Yeah, there is a short task, yeah, like matching a multiple choice or something else, yeah, that helps students answer the question, but the teacher may monitor and identify gaps in knowledge. That is called test-teach-test. And test-teach test is often used with guided discovery. So instead of just teaching your students, you are preparing and using an extract from a course book sometimes, yeah, with certain questions that guide them towards discovering the rule And they're doing the task on their own, often with their peers. They can collaborate, discuss things. The teacher intervention is minimal. They usually facilitate learning, yeah, and help students clarify things at the end of the stage only. So guided discovery and test, teach, test. Yeah, grammar translation is something that was used in the past, and probably in some schools you can still see a lot of grammar translation. It might be relevant for translators and interpreters, of course, yeah, but for building up confidence and developing communicative competence, that's not good enough. Yeah, the lexical approach, which is really fashionable at the moment, yeah, like books appear based on that approach, highlighting the importance of teaching chunks, yeah, and Lexis in general. Total physical response is the approach we often use with kids, yeah, when they're not ready to produce the language. Quite often we ask them to respond by gestures, by moving around. Yeah, for example, clap your hands if it's a noun, or I don't know, if it's a fruit, to grade it to the kids' level, yeah, and so on. So they have to move, physical response, yeah. Instead of saying something, they might dance, they may use certain gestures, mime, and so on. Project-based learning hasn't been covered in TKT yet, yeah, but it's similar to task-based learning. The idea is still the same, to give a task with a communicative focus so that students collaborate and they feel the need to use the language. I need to speed up. So here is a sample test highlighting different approaches and the situation. Have a look at the situation and identify the approach that might be the most relevant. Fantastic, fantastic. Yes, yes. Okay. Of course, the test, teach, test approach is the most appropriate for those who would like to understand different language patterns better, yeah? And they're active learners, and that works well for active learners. Yeah, so one more test highlighting the differences in speaking, yeah, that our focus might shift from accuracy to fluency, yeah, and sometimes we just focus on pronunciation. And here is a classroom activity about an imaginary situation. Yeah, thank you for highlighting the answer. It is with the focus on fluency. Okay, I'm afraid I'll have to skip this one. Yeah, but you will get the slides and you will see the answers. Now, we've talked about Model 1 today, and there are three major areas that you'll be assessed on. The test is, the test contains 80 questions with 80 minutes, yeah, and that you need to spend on that. And the special answer sheet is given for you to answer the questions. You won't be producing anything on your own, yeah, you'll be shading the lozenges, clarifying, well, highlighting the answers that you are selecting. The task types are matching, multiple choice, yeah, and odd one out. And the list of recommended resources was given to you, of course, yeah. Start by using free resources that you can find online. And then perhaps if you are interested and eager to develop, yeah, you can continue. So at the moment, yeah, I am finishing and I'm about to start looking at the question box. So let us see the questions that you're asking me. Some courses, resources of online teaching. Interesting. There is a nice course on Future Learn on how to teach online. I did it quite a few years ago. If you are an experienced Zoom user and you know how to use some basic tools, perhaps you can take IH course in online teaching. Yeah, those. What do you think about the necessity of taking an exam? I don't think you need to take it if you don't see the relevance of it, yeah. But if you see a reason for that, yeah, for your professional development, perhaps you might be curious to see what results you can achieve. Yeah, so that's it. What do you think about official or what regulated language? Language exams, okay. Well, this is a different story. I don't think we have time to discuss other exams today. Yeah, they can confirm your level of proficiency. So the purpose is clear. Can a teacher have one level in some stages and another one in another? Yes, definitely. I think, Maria, that's a very good question. Yeah, you can see that, for example, your language awareness is almost perfect. You know how the English language is working, how to describe it and everything, but you don't know, you lack teaching techniques, yeah? And you'll be focusing on that area. It's not common, of course. Usually we develop, you know, in many different areas at the same time, yeah? But it might happen, it might be different, of course. Could you give a list of centers? I have shown you the website, and you need to click on the button, find the center. Yeah, you will type in your city and you will see a list of recommended centers, and then you can get in touch with them. Future teachers. Yeah, that's a good source, English for Teacher, yeah. Yeah, and many books on methodology arena I recommended. You will find them on one of the slides. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that information. If you pass TKT, is there any sense in taking CELTA? And is it okay to proceed to Delta? Now, the difference between TKT and CELTA, that there is a practical component. You may know a lot, but it doesn't guarantee that you can teach well. So you need to be observed and you need to confirm that you are a good teacher there, right? In the classroom, because there is no practical component in TKT. Now, as for Delta, of course, you need a deeper understanding of the principles for that. And you need to work with a variety of teaching contexts, yeah, like business English, intensive courses, different types of settings that will help you rely on that experience to be able to evaluate tasks, design your own materials, yeah, with that understanding for Delta Module 2, for example. But if we are talking about Delta Module 1, of course, you can take that risk and register for the test. So you can't, yeah, there is no such a thing, you know, that you can't take a test. Of course you can do, but it's quite an expensive activity. So probably you want to be better prepared for that, yeah, and you need to do a lot of research and demonstrate that you are an experienced teacher if you work, if you find someone to help you prepare for that, yeah, yeah, okay. Thank you all for your thank you notes. I really appreciate. I think that we've had a very productive webinar, yeah, but it is only because you were so actively involved in all the activities. And I'm sure most of you are ready to take the test, yeah, already. So think about that, yeah. Model 1, yeah, was highlighted for you, most important areas. If you feel confident, go for it, just register. And tomorrow I'll continue talking about other models, yeah. I don't know if you want more practice tasks, sample tasks to see whether you're ready, yeah, or more theory, how to prepare and so on, but there will be a mixture, of course, because, you know, candidates are different and your needs might be different. So thank you again. I can't see any other questions. Practical, yeah, okay, yeah. I think it's good to be to use a healthy combination, yeah, of theory and practice. You'll try to do that.